Hello everyone. Um, so now it's 10 a.m. and I'm eating an egg. Um, I will not eat anything else today. Uh, that's it. Okay. Oh my gosh. So I'm just going to peel the egg and talk about how I feel recently because it's not great. I think I'm going to name this video like about like how depression never gets better, and I don't know, I just feel so desperate and hopeless at the same time. mm, so I think the video is going to be long. I'd say 20 minutes. Okay. um so as you see, I'm not wearing my glasses right now because I feel like I look better without glasses. Well, but I cannot really see without glasses. Well, okay, so that's haha. So that's not very convenient, but whatever. So what's the topic? The topic is about why depression never gets better. Um, it's very strange because I feel like the first time I've experienced like depression was in my middle school, and that's when I was like bullied, and I was so insecure about who I am, like in terms of sexuality and how I'm being perceived by other people. That's like the first time I was depressed, like the whole middle school, and first first year in high school as well. And that 4 year was really dark for me because I didn't do well in school, and I basically have no friends. I was I was really ugly. I was a little bit overweighted. I battled with weight, with my body weight for a very long time. Okay, and that was my insecurity. And I battled with how I was like really ugly. I'm still ugly, but I was like really ugly, and I didn't know how to fix it because, yeah, like it's impossible to like fix it at that time, at least for me. Okay, so and then like since the second year of my high school, I feel like the depression just went away because I felt like my life was back in a routine. Okay, I was the school was manageable because I went to a not so good high school, so there was definitely much less stress, pressure academically, and I had more time to do my own thing. Yeah, which is like watching movies and writing novels, things like that. And I met one friend that was very nice to me. Um, like it was like the, it was like, have you ever watched the TV show like 90s, a 90s cartoon called Daria? I feel like me and that girl was like Daria and Jane, and that was literally the best feeling in the world. That like you just have someone that had like this deep connection with you. You like she just got all my jokes. I really love the feeling that my jokes being appreciated, and and she really gets it, and she made me laugh as well. So that was really nice. Um, yeah. So I didn't. I so I had like very. I had a blast in my high school. At least for the last 2 years, it was really nice. And then I went to university. I went to University of Waterloo here, and then the depression came back because I just never felt that the school was for me. It it was because my parents, they heard like this school was really good, and there were a lot of like Asian students that they got like like amazing career after they graduated, so they like put me there. Um, so in I really struggled. I struggled a lot. I was terrible at math, and although I was doing okay in high school in math, but definitely like not the University of Waterloo level if you knew the school. Um, and I was terrible at computer science was not my thing at all. I hate coding. Like I remember that um, there was like a introduction computer science course um, called CS 136, something like that, and I didn't understand anything. In it had like a weekly assignment, so like for 4 days of 4 days. Okay, how do I say this? I don't know how to say it in English. So like 4 out of 5 days I spent on doing that computer science assignment, and I got like 60 every time. Sometimes even lower than 60 because I couldn't just do anything because all the questions are like connected. So if you cannot do part A, you cannot do part B. So so I cheated. Okay, I cheated. That's why. I had a friend who was doing okay in that course, so I was like asking her, okay, so can I see a code? Okay, that's really like one of the most humiliating experience in the world. But I had to do it because I had no like I had no like that was the only way. Okay, and I got discovered, and I got like academical warning for one time, and then I failed that course in the end. So that was really funny to me because I struggled so much. I put so much effort legally and illegally, and I still failed the course. So that was really funny to me. Um, yeah, and then because of COVID, I I did my first internship in China. I worked as an HR intern because at the time, I just feel like I couldn't really do anything like computer science related. So I was like trying to do something like easier, and at the time I really thought that communication was my strength. So I chose like human resource intern, which everybody was like shocked. Like they were like, why do you do this? Like you are a math major. Like why you are doing human resource? And I couldn't answer that, and that was like the first time like I knew that that was probably a stupid decision. And it turned out like it was really a stupid decision. Oh my gosh! Because after two months, I got fired. Oh my gosh, I got fired. I was like probably like the feel. I was like the feel of the whole like second year students who got fired from their co-op. Oh, it was so funny. But that was not funny at that time. I was so stressed. I was so stressed that I even peed myself during sleep. That's how stressed I am. I was. Yeah, and I got fired, and I think that thing really like changed me because I I just don't know who I am because I used to thought that I used to believe that communication was my strength, but it turned out not, but it turned out not as the way that I thought. So that was the thing, and because I got like the lowest grades, lowest like evaluation in my club system, I got kicked out because I couldn't find any other co-op positions afterwards because um, I got like a very low grade for my first internship, and other companies didn't want to hire me, and that's okay. I understand that. So I dropped out from the co-op program, and I just focused on my study, and I didn't do well as well. I still cheated because it was really hard, and I feel like I was like a parasite because I relied on other students like throughout my whole career, throughout all my like undergrads. Um, yeah, so that's how I graduated, but things did get well. in like my last year because I met another friend, and the other friends had another friend. So we are like a three, like we're like a 3-person friend group, but they were like definitely more close to each other. So I was kind of feeling like a third wheel, but that's okay because at least I was in some form of like an inner circle, and I was happy about that. I had a good time. We watched we watched movies a lot because we were all like very into horror films, and you know in Canada they had like a lot of like horror films from the U.S., from the Europe, things like that, and I really love that. I think that's probably like one of my favorite thing about Canada is like it has like many new movies from the U.S. and the world. That was amazing, and yeah, we watched a lot of like films together, um, and we also tried a lot of like restaurants and desserts like in Waterloo. That was really nice. That was like probably like the happiest time of my life, second happiest time of my life. Um, yeah, I remember that like that was one summer. I think that was probably June, and the weather was really nice, and you know like the sunset was like very late. It's like you know like the you still got like sunshine at 7 p.m., things like that, and we were just like taking the tramway, and we went to the Conestoga Mall and watched films. That was really nice. The weather was nice, and we were like laughing and joking, talking in the tramway. It was really nice. Ah, that was really that was really sweet. Yeah. So that was probably like the highlight of my life, and I feel like wow, like my depression really cured. It didn't bother me anymore, but then like it came back again. Because I graduated and I went back. I couldn't find a job. Okay, that's when I started to stress again. So I went back to China for 8 months, and that was okay, I would say, because I was studying French, and was like preparing for my master application. That was nice. That was okay. That was a very quiet, peaceful time. I like that as well. And then in 2024, I came back to Canada for my masters, and now I'm in Toronto. And I'm saying since the beginning of my masters, I was like the feeling came back again. Um, that was like really I I feel like 2025 was really hard for me, especially like the beginning of 2025. I was really stressed because I didn't like my master. I didn't like what I learned, and I just felt like a lot of peer pressures because many of my friends were like they were leaving. Some were like leaving Canada, and some like finding their first job, which was amazing. And some were just like called boyfriends, girlfriends, things like that. And I just feel like very left behind, I'm say, and I didn't like myself. I was I was gaining weight again. I was gaining weight again, and I feel really ugly sometimes. You know, because when you like went out with other like your friends, and they were like very rich because like you know international students were rich by default, and I just feel like I didn't dress well, and I didn't look good. On photos or real life, I don't know. So it was not great, and I was really sad about like everything, and I didn't know if I want to stay in Canada or leave, because sometimes I feel like I really couldn't I cannot stay in Canada without a job, and I couldn't find a job, and even if I find a job that would be like related to my masters, and I didn't really like my masters or my undergrads, so like I just can't foresee myself like being like very depressed and unhappy in the office if I'm lucky enough. So that was like a bummer for me. And I got like really bad habit. I started to like cut myself, and I was really into self-harm like last year. I had a lot of scars on my like arms. Um and then like it was like for the months I was like really dark for me. And then like I was just kind of like have this um realization that I was being really stupid. First of all, it's not going to kill myself. I'm not going to like die by just cutting myself. It's not. It's a scratch. Okay, it's scratch. It bleed, but it won't like really kill you. So I hide, and now I got nothing but scars on my arms, and I couldn't like show my arms anymore because of scars. So I only wore long sleeves, and that was really stupid. That was really stupid. I got nothing from it. um, yeah, it was. I was just like constantly making bad decisions after one decision, and I. But there was like a certain comfort in it, if you know. That was like just kind of feel like all your problems just like leaving your body through your blood. That was like very medieval like feeling. But I don't know, like it just if you ever had any like self-harm situation like experiences, you know what I'm talking about. There was a certain weird comfort in it. um yeah, so I stopped because I realized that if I'm not going to die tomorrow, I'm going to leave. Like that's just like the only possibility. Like you are either dead or you're alive. And now since I'm too like a coward to die, I have to leave. Okay, that was like that was like really like the ultimate like despair, like despair. Like yeah, that was like the ultimate despair, that there was no way out. Okay, and so like I realized that I had to be normal if I'm if I want to leave, and I needed to be normal. That was what I feel. And after that I was like trying to be normal. So before I was completely like shaved my head. I didn't have any hair in because I really don't like hair. You know what I mean? Like that was really weird for me. But I don't like hair because if you grow long hair, you have to like style it. You know, you have to like you worry about like, oh, like does it look good? Does it look good? Should I should I show my forehead or not? Like that was like there was a lot of like questions around your hair, and you needed to constantly worry about it. And I didn't like that, so I shaved my head. And I feel like very like being like real to myself. I know that was really stupid to talk about, but that was how I feel at that moment. And then I like feel like okay, so that needed to stop. And so I started to grow my hair. So now that's what you see. It was much more normal, and I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Okay, because I was still like really ugly. Okay. Um. Yeah. Yeah. And I started to like change my clothes because I feel like I think that was like the moment that I really like realized that like I really needed to examine myself, like my like physical self, to try to make myself look more normal, like not weird. And I needed to lose weight. I needed to uh, dress more normally, starting from like the color and the silhouette. I studied like how like I observed people on the street. I observed how they dressed, and I I like threw all my clothes away and we bought new bought new clothes again. And yeah, and I'm still working on that as well because I feel like it was not enough. Yesterday I went to, because yesterday was Chinese New Year. Happy Chinese New Year, okay? So I went there with my friends. Not my friends. I only knew one person, but she had other friends. And I felt really ugly, you know. I felt ugly again because they were taking photos. They were like, they were, yeah, they were having like fireworks, and they were like recording, and I saw myself in those videos, and I looked so ugly. I can't. Like my head was so big, and I was so short, and like just the proportion wasn't right, and I looked so ugly. I hated my voice, and I don't like how I like, and I don't like how I behaved. I looked so ugly compared to other people. Like it really, literally ruined my life. Yeah, so that was just something that I was battling for a very long time, and I was gaining weight again. I don't understand. I don't understand why I was fat again. I don't know. Okay, I must look really ugly when I'm crying. I just want I just wanted to look normal. I wanted to look. I, I, okay, it was really weird. It was getting weird. I just wanted it to look good. Okay. I I wanted people to like me. I want to. I don't know. I never really took any selfies. Even if I took selfie, I deleted them immediately because I couldn't stand how ugly I am. Sometimes I was, sometimes I checked my Instagram and things like that. I was just so jealous of like how other people like just look so good. They have like good physique. Yeah, they had like the good face. Well, I was constantly battling for not getting fat and just looking normal. Just looking normal was so hard. I don't understand. I feel like my whole youth was was wasted on those meaningless things, and why I had to battle for this all the time. I don't understand. Okay, okay, wow. That was really funny. And yeah. So you got the point, right? You got the point. And that was not the like that was not the only reason that I feel depressed. Another reason was I couldn't find a job, and I didn't like the job that I would have, like some data analysis, business analysis. What the fuck was that? Oh my god, I hate myself. I just couldn't like imagine myself like doing like tables, like Excels, and writing codes every day in front of a computer in the office. That was so. That was not my strength. I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. Okay? I tried to lead code and all those stupid things, and I just I just failed it again and again and again. And I didn't know what I could do. There was like no hope finding a job here that could make me feel like not in hell. So, and if I went back to China, maybe I would have a chance to do something else, to try to do something else. Like, I don't know what that is, but maybe that was easier for me. I don't know. And I just feel like so out of place because all of my like students in my major or in the program were doing like similar things, like becoming data analysis, data engineer, or like those things, and people were having like a people have a career plan. That was really weird. Okay, you're 24. Why you okay? Okay, you're 24. You should have a career plan. Right? That's right. That's right. Okay. Yeah, but the problem is if I go back to China, I won't be able to come back. That was a problem, and I still have like a dream for myself. That was like to get a boyfriend, something like that. Oh my god, that was so stupid to say. But yeah, like because I feel like Canada is more accepting country, like in terms of like LGBTQ community. And my parents were like really conservative. And going back, like what about like my life? That was a problem, and I didn't know how to sort it out. Yeah, so I was just feeling so hopeless, and I feel like that the clock is tickling, and it's tickling. Is that ticking? I don't know. Like it's just like it's just counting down moment. Like it's just counting down, and I didn't have much time because if I didn't find anything by the end of April, I was just going back home, and that was it. Okay, I didn't really have any like major regrets because that was it. I didn't have like a really highlight moment in my life in Canada. Like I used to believe that I would become a completely different person. Well, technically I am, but in a worse, like in a like negative perspective, in a negative way. I was a completely different person, and like I was down. The place had a lot of opportunities, but there aren't like one for me, and that's okay. Not everyone has to be lucky. Someone has to leave. You know. And what made me so different to become like to be able to stay here, right? That's okay. I don't like the winter either. So okay, I think that would be enough for today. Bye bye.